what's going on? Protect all of Earth's lives? This is a vegan mobile? Yo. So what I really wanted to make a video about was the idea of community and how we have these housing developments. Man, I used to live here and they locked the gate. I don't know the gate code anymore. Well, scratch this. I'm gonna have to go to another housing development. Oh wait, I'll go to the one across the street. So I used to live in this type of a housing development all throughout high school, and it's so common where people talk about how we can't live on animal products because it takes so much out of the environment and etc, etc. But I lived in a place like this where we have thousands, tens of thousands of people and communities that have backyards. You don't need a lot of land, but we live in these communities where nobody talks to each other. You drive in, you park your car inside the garage, you go inside, and you don't interact with any of your neighbors. And I was really thinking about how our culture is the problem. And it's not the food, it's not that consuming chickens is killing the earth. It's completely our culture where as neighbors, we don't have a sense of community anymore. Where this person right here, just like I do, you could easily have 6 chickens. Simply, this person over here could grow tomatoes in their backyard. This person over here could grow potatoes. Somewhere, if we actually had a real community that valued these ideas, you could have a pasture with some cows on it in the middle of this community. And I went to the fair yesterday and they had some dairy cows, and one of the signs said that the cows make about 7 gallons of milk a day. 7 gallons a day. My family doesn't go through a gallon of milk a day, I know that much. And it's me, my wife, and 3 kids. But wouldn't it bring something special to... Okay. Hello, doggy. Hello, doggy. Oh, hi. I don't even know you. Alright, be safe. Oh wow, the dog knows sense of community. And so it's like, when it comes to us being a successful species, what has happened is that we have forfeited our freedom and our power to rely on a sense of community. And it's sad because it's really destroyed the relationships that we have with one another. I was thinking about my friends. I know some people who've lived in Hawaii, especially Samoan people. The Samoan culture versus the American culture is so much different when it comes to family structure. And it's like, although we imagine and we give these hypotheticals on if we lived in the wild, we envision ourselves being by ourselves, but humans have never lived by themselves. It's never going to be just you surviving by yourself. You cannot survive without one another. But that's what we're trying to do right now. And I really believe that if we took control of our food again and stopped relying purely on agriculture, that this person would begin to talk to that person, because they have something that they can give one another and a skill that they could, and it's gonna benefit both of them. Whether it's that this person raises rabbits, maybe these 2 people raise rabbits, and these 2 people raise chickens. But as a group of people, we could easily come together, and it doesn't have to be factory farming. That's not the only option. Sadly, now we have it to where we have people who are retired. They live in these communities, and you can tell who's retired. And then this idea, it's not that you don't have to work, but you can tell who's retired. Just look at people's grass. This person's not retired. The energy that the retired people are giving. Here, I'll show you right here. This person's retired. Check out the grass. Look at the hedge line. Pristine. And there he is right there, an elderly man right there, retired. And there's nothing wrong with that. What I'm saying is that people are looking for purpose. People are looking for value. And you would be kidding me if you're saying that, or anyone believes that, those who are retired don't want a sense of community, don't want interaction, don't want to play a vital role in the community. It would be fantastic to have it where people who are retired, they can, that field we just passed, they can tend to the grazing cattle. I believe, just even through the line of work that I do, those who are mentally impaired, those who are cognitively impaired, having a sense of community, the elderly, helps with their mindset, helps with their health, helps keep them healthy, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, whether you're religious or not. So they have this, it's just a bulletin here where the community's creating some upcoming events. I guess I just envision a potential that we have a lot of the setup for it. And this is how the life of suburbia is. I mean, this isn't the only place that looks like this, a gated community with a little lock on the front. It's totally a great setup for it. But until people actually, let's say, know to want it, because I don't think it's that people don't want it. I think it's that they just don't know to want it. And they don't realize that a large part of the reason why a large impact of our food being controlled is so that we can just work all day for a system, so that you can exchange your hours at retail, so then you can survive and try to purchase a gallon of milk or whatever the case. But really, the only reason why you're going to work is so that you can have a roof over your head and that you can have security for yourself. But really, all the things in nature are free when it comes to family, love, care, community, harvesting food. You don't need to work a 9-to-5, at least a traditional 9-to-5, to accrue those, you know. But right now, it's really our only option, and it's very hard to make an entire cultural shift like that. But look at this, man. And it doesn't need to look like a ghetto. It doesn't need to look like any kind of slums, where it could look just like this, because, or at least very similar to this. They still have the homeowners association, which I personally don't care for, but they can actually have a community. This was, why does that look like a plum tree? The leaves look like plum trees. It could be something so simple where even the person who has an apple, I have apples in my backyard, although they are not good this year, but I have apples in my backyard, and well, where I live at, I have much more land than this. I have like an acre and a half, and my neighbor has about maybe 2 acres, so we could easily have goats. It's just I don't have the time or interest or the know-how. Right now I started at chickens, and that seems to be pretty easy. But anyways, so that's the video. I just think there's a different type of world that we could have, and we have the potential for it, but the culture is the problem. It's not the food that's the problem.